raise my betters, the best content marketing is always simple. The simple is always hard. Everybody's head is nodding. We've all been through endless hours of work to describe something complex in simple terms. As content marketers, we've run into this barrier maybe thousands of times. In the first few instances, back in the middle 70s, we struggled and wrestled, wrote and rewrote, had meetings and brainstorming sessions, tried to look at the issue from every angle possible, and often still had a hot mess on our hands. It was a painful and expensive journey, but one from which we learned. We found out that if we took the time to do our homework properly, everything else got a lot easier. It starts with the end goal in mind. If you cannot articulate a goal, don't even think about starting a project. You're doomed to disappointment and failure before you start. If you have multiple audiences, you'll have multiple goals. And as an aside, I would love to plead with you to refrain from asking that one strategy and/or tactic be used to satisfy all goals. It's a waste of time and money and just simply doesn't work. We then move to defining the audience or audiences that will receive the messages. We look at how those audiences consume content and begin developing strategies to reach them. Finally, we define our metrics for success. Once the proper definitions are done, the only job left is to make sure we create content the end user finds compelling. That may be the biggest difference between companies that develop content. Some produce content that's stiff and difficult for the end user to slog through. Some produce oddball, off-the-wall content that never seems to come to the point. Some produce content that, more often than not, resonates with the end user, leading to long-term relationships that result in ongoing revenue. If our past results are any indicator of future success, we're one of the companies who can develop content people like to consume. I know. It's a pretty bold statement. But as my friend Denny Schaefer used to say, it ain't bragging if you can do it. As you can see, this is a pretty simple process, but it does take time. We found that quick fixes overwhelmingly lead to far more work and expense than they're worth. If we're going to build audience with any hope of developing long-term relationships that result in ongoing revenue, we must be deliberate and thoughtful. You know you have to start a serious marketing effort online, one that gets measurable results. Here's the first thing you do. Define what you want to accomplish and who you need to communicate with to make it happen. The second thing you do is call us. We can help.